breakdown, it's 5 grams of carbs, 4.7 of fat, 5.5 of protein. Okay? So your number 2 was the tin of tuna. 69 calories. So not much difference, okay? 0.6 grams of fat, 15.7 grams of protein. So very good if you want your protein. And 0.1 grams of carbs. Number 3, your Sunrise Mini Bite. 84 calories. Higher in carbs, 14 grams of carbs, 2.2 of fat, and 1.5 of protein. Number 4, has anyone got them all right so far? No? Oh, beautiful. All right, number 4 is your Bega cheddar cheese slice. 85 calories, 0.1 grams of carbs, 7.1 grams of fat, and 5.6 grams of protein. 85. So number 5 is your 1 slice of wholemeal bread. Woo! 86 calories, 14 grams of carbs, 1.25 grams of fat, and 3.3 grams of protein. I bet you no one got this one right. Number 6 is the chocolate brownie.
That's it, I'll do that chocolate brownie.
It is 87 calories. It's 19 grams, so you've got to look at the amount of grams, okay? So it's 9.4 grams of carbs, 5 grams of fat, and 1.5 grams of protein. Number 7 is your Coles salmon tin. 93 calories, it's got 0 carbs, it's 2.3 grams of fat, and it's 17.8 grams of protein. So if you're lacking in your protein, 1 tin of that is bloody brilliant. Get it in there. Number 8 is the medium red apple. 95 calories, 25 grams of carbohydrates, 0.3 grams of fat, and 0.5 grams of protein. Number 9 is your medium banana at 105 calories, 27 grams of carbs, 0.4 grams of fat, and 1.3 grams of protein. And coming in last is one little lonely Twiggy. It's 121 calories per Twiggy stick. One Twiggy stick. So that's sneaky little Twiggy stick. 3.4 grams of carbohydrates, 8 grams of fat, and 9.1 grams of protein. Alright, good job. I'm going to pass it over to Ariel.
Alright, so first off, I'm just going to say a couple little tips. I know this isn't really for everyone, but if you can, try to kind of eat at regular times throughout the day. It can just help create hunger cues and things like that. I know depending on work, jobs, that kind of thing, it's not always practical, but it can really help. Never skip meals. This is say try avoid, I'm going to say never.
Yeah.
Just don't. Meal prep, it's not essential, but it can really help just really set you up for the week. I feel like everyone I know, the ones who meal prep, tend to kind of stick to their meals, but people who don't. Again, not essential, but it does really help. But yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff like that in the booklet anyways. Not sure if you guys have read yet, but I think there's always that kind of thing in there. Alright, so macros. Now, if we want to get technical, and this one's for Kristen, alcohol is technically a macro. However, it holds no nutritional value to you. So it's not essential for survival, but if you want to be technical, it is a macro. Yeah. Again, all in moderation, but just, yeah. And it holds 7 calories per gram, just for reference. Protein, if you've ever heard the term amino acids, so some of you might not, that obviously is what protein is made up of. It's just a term that's used. Proteins are important because it helps to build and repair muscles and produce hormones and enzymes just to help the body function effectively. So obviously really important. Obviously we're here, we're at the gym, we work out, so very important in our diet. Amino acids, there is either non-essential or essential. So we have 11 non-essential amino acids. Our body makes these, so we don't have to get them throughout our diet. But then there's 9 essential ones that our body doesn't make, so these are the ones we need to get through our diet. Animal products contain all of them, and to my knowledge, soy products do. So obviously for those who are like plant-based, veggies, those kind of things. They do have them, but some of them won't hold all 9 like animal products do, so it just means that you just need to have like different plant sources to get all 9, if that makes sense. But yeah, basically obviously protein is just really important for building muscle, repair, and just our body functions. I wanted to touch on, it's like part of protein and like aging, but so basically as we age, we go through, it's either called sarcopenia or sarcopenia, don't know the specifics, but you get this. Basically that just means muscle loss. So as we age, we lose muscle. It's about 5 to 10% per decade. So it actually does end up being quite a bit if you are not active, don't do anything to help it. No, Julian, it's fine. You're scared, do not say you're 90. But yeah, it is something to think about, because yeah, if you do nothing as we age, our muscle does decline. That is where the protein and the exercise obviously comes in to help slow that. I wouldn't go as far as prevent, but it does definitely make a very significant difference. So yeah, just something to keep in mind. Like I said, it's about 5 to 10% like per decade we lose if we did nothing about it. And this is a bit of a personal opinion, I recommend about 1.7 times your body weight in a protein goal. If you Google it, you'll kind of see like a range of like 1.2 to like 2.2 kilos times your body weight, but I don't really like the 2.2. Again, I don't know about you guys, but just me personally, I find a lot of people that I help track food, they don't even hit like 100 grams of protein in a day. So for me to it's very unrealistic to be like, okay, go eat double your body weight in protein. So I would recommend 1.7 for those who exercise, but yeah, if you Google it, the range is like 1.2 to 2.2. If you're obviously trying to build muscle and that kind of thing. But yeah.
Is that about 30% of your overall calories in protein?
Yeah. And it's like 25 to 35.
Yeah.
Because on your scans, it will obviously tell you, at the bottom.
Yeah, so your scans will have it
percentages of-
on there based on your activity level and everything like that. And then next we've got carbs. So obviously carbs are our body's most efficient fuel source. Can we all repeat that, please? Carbs are our most efficient fuel source. Thank you. So yes, carbs are not the enemy. Please do not think that. They are what our body loves the most. But basically how it works without getting too technical. So carbs are converted into glucose, and that is what our body uses as the energy. So if you can think, if you're not giving your body those carbs, you ain't gonna have any energy. So you're obviously gonna feel flat, lethargic. I'm sure if anyone's go keto, low carb, you've probably experienced the symptoms that come with it. It's not great. No one wants it. But yeah, obviously carbs has also help with body functions, activity, energy, everything like that. You're formed either sugar or starch and fiber. So sugar is obviously the most simple form. I'm sure we all know where sugar is, what foods that come in it. I'm sure we know. And then you've got starch and fiber. So these are called our complex carbs. And this is what we find in like our veggies and grains, that kind of foods. So they're the ones that we really want to focus on getting in our diet. Fiber is really essential for a healthy digestive system and also helps to keep us full. So it's something really important to look into. I think it's about 25 grams for women and 30 for men.
I think it's actually in
Yeah.
the booklet.
Is it? Might be in the booklet. But I think that's like the recommendations from like the guidelines. But also in MyFitnessPal, like if you do track, it does have it in there, so you would be able to see. But if you're someone who eats a lot of veggies and things like that, you get it, no worries. It's just if you go down into like, what is it? Nutrients. Yeah, in like the nutrient section, like it will have it on there, so you'll be able to know. Yeah. And then one other thing on that is just glycemic index. A little bit confusing, you might know, might not know. So basically, foods are classified as either low GI or high GI. And this just basically means how they, once consumed, affect your blood sugar. So high GI foods are your more processed foods, sugars, those kind of things. So they're going to really spike your blood sugar very quickly compared to low GI foods, which is more like, you know, like brown rice, those kind of things. Like the ones that aren't processed. So they're the ones you really want to stick to, because basically how it works is they take longer to digest in your body. So they will also help keep you full, because your body takes a lot more time to work through them compared to the high GI stuff. Hopefully that's not too confusing. But yeah, so that's basically all on carbs. And then fats. Oh, and protein per carb is 4 calories per gram. I don't understand. I think it's about 4 calories per gram for protein and carbs. Fat is 9 calories, so these are a little bit more energy dense compared to the other macros. So it's definitely something to keep in mind when you are consuming things that you know are dietary fats, because they are going to be higher calorie compared to other foods. Basically, there's 4 main types. So you've got your trans fat, saturated, monounsaturated, and polyunsaturated. Obviously, your trans and your saturated are, you know, what's labeled bad, that kind of thing, and then the other one's better. I mean, we try not to use those words, but you get the gist of it. Fats are essential because they help move vitamins around the body, allows them to digest everything like that, and it helps with hormones, regulating them, all that kind of good fun stuff. Obviously better for women. I'm sure we've all gone through messy hormones once in our life. But yeah, fats really help with that. Good for hair, skin, nails, all that kind of stuff as well. Again, one thing, I hope it's not too confusing, but in the way of fats as well, so the trans and saturated fats, they actually raise your LDL cholesterol. For those of you who don't know, that's kind of what's labeled the like bad cholesterol, but it's not that in a sense, because that's the cholesterol that's kind of linked to things like cardiovascular disease, stroke, heart attacks, those kind of things. So obviously that's the cholesterol that we want to keep lower. So our trans and saturated fats just help to kind of raise those. So you can obviously see why limiting those fats is important. And then unsaturated fats, they help to lower LDL and then also raise HDL, which is the good cholesterol, which again has helped in the way of like preventing cardiovascular disease. Pretty much the exact opposite. But yeah, so that's all on that. Any questions? Surely.
Someone had a question
Surely.
before about protein shake.
Yeah.
As regards macros, you know, you were saying, like, say you scan at the bottom, says like 35%,
Yeah.
and then the other 35%.
Yeah.
What would you say you were meant to be aiming for? Because on like the app, down at the bottom, it's completely different than what's actually on the printer.
They vary. There's a big variation. Like, so just say for instance on a carbs, it's 45 to 65. So it's quite a big window of difference. But depending on your physical activities and your lifestyle in general, that plays a big part. So we could go and try you on 45 and then fill the rest with the others, and that might not work for you. You may still feel tired or whatever because you're really working out hugely. So therefore we may need to up your carb intake to counteract that exercise. Does that make sense? So it's not black and white. It's
There's there's a range.
Yeah.
So even though your scan's saying like 35 or whatever, like for the recommendations, like there's a range. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So that's why it's
wondering
different.
If you've got like what you want to generally recommend to everybody to do, because on the second challenge that like we did with you, like my protein was really high, but then carbs were low, and that's what I was on.
From a scan.
No, that's what I did.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like,
See, that too, you know how, so if we look back at the last 12-week challenge, that's what they were telling us we wanted to do.
yeah, like I said,
Is that what it's
protein really
based
high.
off of?
No, it's like, I'm thinking you're thinking it's based off of what Steve and Holly essentially had put out for their plan
Yeah.
and told us to push through. You know what I mean?
You mean
Like,
like the meal plan from the last challenge?
Well, no, I'm on about the initially
Yeah.
the evolved scan.
Yeah.
Like I say, yeah, that's generally the 35, 35, and 30.
Yeah.
But like I say on my app it says different. And I was wondering what you're recommending that we actually do, as if we're doing. Are we looking at macros or are we not?
Well,
Just-
for this challenge, the point was to follow the macros and calories that the scan gives you. But that's why we said, like, if you do have any concerns about it, just show us. We can have like an actual look at it, and then that'll make more sense. Because obviously everyone's going to be completely different, because it is actually based on your body composition, not just like a one size fits all. So maybe just show us after, and we'll have a look at it. But the idea is to go off the scan.
When you're saying app, you mean like my fitness health?
No,
No, the Evolt.
actually,
Oh, the actual
on
Evolt.
your app, on your phone.
oh, from the scans to app.
So it's two
different.
different.
Oh,
So
on the print
Mine has been different before.
Has it?
Last challenge.
Yeah.
I haven't looked at that.
Slightly, they
Oh.
were different.
Wait, wait,
from
wait,
the
wait, wait.
print out to the app, the Evo app.
yeah.
For the same scan,
Oh, that's so much.
that is me. Yeah, maybe just show us after.
Yeah.
Because it should be the same.
Yeah.
I'll probably to say ignore what it tells you on the printout and just follow the meal plan.
Yeah, but that was based on the old
Yeah,
challenge.
no, that's,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah.
But I mean, also for this challenge, what we actually recommend.
Yeah, this, what the scan says. Yeah.
Right, but then it's actually the she's saying on the app, and what's on the printout.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let us have a look at it and we'll say what we
Yeah.
think is best for you. Also as well, just with macros and like tracking, obviously for those who don't track, you also, and it will go like by off your scan as well. Don't stress about getting it like gram to gram because it's not possible, especially with tracking like MyFitnessPal. Like obviously it's entries that people have put in there. So just don't be too like pedantic about it. It's just obviously it's all rough, but you just want to, yeah, it's a guide. You want to get it like as close as you can, but you're not going to get it spot on, which is fine. Like a little variance is not going to make much difference. And that's even the same with the calories. Like, you know, a difference of like 100 calories is not going to be like the end. You know what I mean?
How often should we be like weighing ourselves? Like,
I wouldn't do less than a week.
See me on the, I just don't like the scale.
Yeah.
Get it, don't go. Do it at the start, maybe 4 weeks if you really want to. Me personally, and everyone's different with this as well. I think it can play with your head a little bit, so I think I would get a pair of jeans that might be a little bit tight or something, and I might try them on each week. Like, because, you know, you can hop on this, I'm a muscly person, and so for me, I could go in or next week and hop onto the scale, and I could have put on a kilo because I've actually upped my weight training. Like, but then I put my jeans on and they look good or whatever. Does that make sense? So that's a personal thing as well. But if you're a person that gets obsessed with it and that can filter your moods and how you go, I would get on.
Yeah, the body also has a bunch of like fluctuations as well. So even if you do weigh yourself every single day of the week, your weight will not be the same every single time you jump on the scale. Like weight fluctuates depending on like how you exercised the day before, like how you ate. If you ate like quite low sodium, that will obviously have a bit of fluid retention. So like you probably see a bit of an increase there, which obviously isn't fat, it's just fluid. I know a lot of females tend to fluctuate around their cycles, and everyone's definitely different. Some do it like a week before, 2 weeks before, the day before, some don't at all. And then even like the amount I've seen in people was quite different. Like some people fluctuate like 500 grams, other people I know like 3 kilos up. So
where we start and where we finish, other than
Yeah.
what we physically see.
I guess I would say it's up to you, and everyone's going to be different in the way of like some people might want to do once a week just to kind of keep you on track, but if you feel like doing that is going to play with your head in the way of, you know, if you don't see a decrease every single week, because it might not, but that doesn't mean that things aren't happening. It just might mean, you know, a fluctuation, you know, your cycle, something like that, or, you know, you did a really intense workout the day before and that kind of thing. So I think like if it's going to play with your head, try to limit it and just leave it to whether it's like, you know, in the middle at the end, that kind of thing. But if you know, are going to be happy with the fact that it might increase, then I would. But I think everyone's a bit different.
I'd be looking to it, this challenge is not going to be like, because it's not strict, it's a lifestyle, you would be thinking 300, 500 a kilo maybe a week, do you know what I mean? So you're not looking at, because after the 8 weeks finishes, you're not done, like you're still going, if that makes any sense. So this is almost like just like a little bit of a kickstart, and it gets us going in the right direction. So I mean, I would be happy for myself if I dropped 3 to 4 kilo by the end of the 8 weeks. That would be me personally, like I would be really stoked with that. But people drop it and act differently too. So all I'm saying is don't be disheartened, you just need to keep going, because as long as it keeps going down, depending, you might have one that goes really quickly in 1 week and then you don't really lose much at all the next week. Like you've got to look at it differently.
What I like about it, with improving and complete the task, it tells you that, like, say 5 weeks time, you should weigh this. You should weigh this.
Yeah.
But it's, I don't look at it and go, oh yeah, I want to get to that, but I just go, oh yeah, great, I haven't gone over.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That is a really
Yeah.
good track.
Yeah.
That's what I like about
Yeah.
that, because it's like, oh, you'll be, you know, 60 kilos, which I am now. That's good, I haven't gone over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I use.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Well, I think if you've got, honestly, if you've got more weight to lose, then generally you'll probably lose more weight than other people. But I just think, honestly, I think just set yourself, if your goal is weight loss, set yourself a realistic goal for the 8 weeks. Like I would say, if you've got quite a lot of weight to lose, I think realistically a kilo or more a week is realistic.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be going, you know, the first week you might lose 2 kilos or 3 kilos if you've got a lot of weight to lose. But generally, that's kind of how I would go for it. If you don't have a lot of weight to lose and your goal is to build some muscle, you might build some muscle and be losing fat at the same time, but your weight's probably not going to change.
Yeah.
Yeah, but age also plays a big part of it too.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
And the intensity of your workouts. So if you're not used to doing intense workouts or 4 workouts in a week, you might drop a little bit more because you're up your workouts. Like there's so many factors, and I think that's where we're all here, all of us trainers are here, that when you have these questions or come up or you're feeling a little bit flat or anything like that or deflated, come and talk to us and we can then maybe just pick you up and guide you in the right direction again and be a little bit more one-on-one with you guys rather than in a group atmosphere where there's so many different varieties that could possibly be happening right now.
Measurements are a great thing, aren't they? Because often the scales might not change, but your measurements can change quite significantly.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we are recommending photos and measurements in this challenge, but like it's just to keep for your own records. Like you don't have to put them anywhere, but they can really help when the scale isn't like that.
So you aren't using that as at the end.
Not photos and measurements.
Not the photos. It will be all through the scanner.
Okay.
But it is a really good idea to do like for yourself.
Clothing's a good one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just is a bit of a true indicator, you know,
Absolutely.
and it's easy.
I know they do that.
You do that with a masticated.
I feel like those are really common in the first place.
Yeah. Was there any other questions or is that it?
You mentioned a Facebook group. Is there a Facebook group?
Yes.
You're not joined.
The link wouldn't work that I got sent.
Yeah, so because obviously Facebook, you have to be, well, to add anyone to a group, you have to be friends with them. So the only other way I could add you to a group is to send you this link that Facebook gives you to send to people. And I'm like, oh, I don't know how this is going to go. So anyway, if you haven't joined the Facebook group, I'll write it on that board there. It's Trend Fitness 8-Week Challenge 2022 on Facebook. Search that, just join it, and then I'll accept you. I think that's probably the easiest way to join it.
Actually, it's sending you members' requests to anybody that's their friend. So we're actually letting them in.
Yeah, I did.
I've got a couple of people in, so I've actually had it come up
Yeah.
and say, Sonia's requesting to join that group, and I'm going, yeah, okay.
Oh, okay.
So I'm presuming if they're asking, they must have already been.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
So I've been letting them in, but your links that you sent us an email
Yeah.
don't work.
Doesn't work?
No, that's right, and it kept coming up this page like with a tool and everything else. So I just checked into Facebook and searched.
Yeah, that's weird. Because it literally is like it comes up with this link.
An application.
Like, and you send it via email.
I don't. Not a problem, basically.
Yeah.
I did send an email, so I can picture of
Because I felt like it would have been weird if I had asked everyone to be friends with me.
Alright, so we're gonna play another game.
I know we will all send a friend request straight to
Say
it, will
who
happen.
it is.
And then you won't have this problem.
We'll have 10 million friends by the end of the year.
What about Stephen Hodder happening?
You guys agree with so basically how it works, so you've obviously got your 3 containers that are marked each of your macros, and then in the other one there's a bunch of photos of food. I want you to sort them. So which food falls into which category?
Where'd you send it to? The messenger?
No, just put